Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy and this is a vinyl tag. It's a blues vinyl tag and it originated with Chris, BluesGuy Vinyl up in Canada. This is the third year in a row he's done this. And of course everybody knows Chris if you like the blues. And I love his channel intro where he has the audio from Howlin' Wolf. And anyway, I'll put the link to his 20 prompts down below, and everyone go check out Chris's channel. And so let's just get into his vinyl tag, blues vinyl tag for 2023. All right, I've got the prompts right here. The first one, 100 years ago, both Ma Rainey and Bessie Smith released their first blues recordings. Show an album from a female blues artist. And I'm going to show from Chicago, Valerie Wellington. This is her album $1 Million Secret with Magic Slim and the Teardrops. An interesting note about Valerie is she started out as an opera singer. And this album was on the Rooster label. Valerie Wellington for my first prompt. The second one, 2023 is the year of the rabbit in the Chinese zodiac. Show an album with a rabbit on the cover or in the name, title. Well, and he said it didn't have to be blues because it was kind of hard. I couldn't really find one, so I just said, hey, I know a bunny. How about Bunny Wailer? This is Bunny Wailer Sings the Wailers, which does a bunch of old Wailers recordings on here. It's really cool. I really love Dancing Shoes. It's a great recording by Bunny Wailer and the Solomonic label. All right. Number 3, show a blues artist born in January. I'm going to show someone who was born January 12, 1904. And that would be Fred McDowell, also known as Mississippi Fred McDowell. This is an album, Mississippi Delta Blues. Thank you, George Allen, for VCLTing this to me. And this is on the Black Lion label. Oh, you can go. All right. Number 4, show a musician who passed in 2022. And he said he didn't have to be a blues artist, but this is a Magic Sam record. I know what Magic Sam, he passed away long before that. But there's an artist, he was a blues singer, but he also played on this album, he played bass guitar, and that is Syl Johnson. He passed away last year. But if you need a better representation that I have a picture of, then the Queen of Country, Loretta Lynn, did pass away last year. And this is her album, You Ain't Woman Enough. Of course, the You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man. Great tune. She was on the MCA Records label. Number 5. Jeff Beck just recently passed. Obviously, he was famous for his guitar prowess. Show an electric blues album you bought in 2022. So I'm going to show this Fleetwood Mac album. This was back when Peter Green, and they were basically a electric blues outfit. This is the Pious Bird of Good Omen, which is kind of a compilation. It took a bunch of their singles, and it took some B-sides, and I guess a couple songs off Mr. Wonderful. But this is a better album than Mr. Wonderful. The first album's great, and this compilation is one I would really recommend too. This was a reissue, Blue Horizon reissue, distributed by Fat Possum Records, and they did the first. They did the first 2 albums and this, what they call a compilation album. Several Elmore James songs on here, but really nice electric blues. Conversely, show an acoustic blues album purchased in 2022. And I got this Blind Willie McTell. This is volume 2. They did the complete recorded works in chronological order from April 17, 1930 to September 14, 1933. This has got some great acoustic tunes on here. And this was Third Man Records put these out. Really great recordings. What number am I on? Number 7. Show a 2022 RSD Blues album. And I'm going to show Skip James, the complete 1931 sessions. Of course, Skip James, if you don't know him, he had this somber, lonesome voice. It was just amazing and haunting. And great album by Skip James. This was, I think, Black Friday Record Store Day this last year. Number 8, show a used blues album purchased in 2022 that was still in the shrink. Well, I guess I didn't look at the word used on there, so I'm just going to show an album that was still in the shrink because I haven't opened it yet and I just got it. And that's this Willie Dixon, Poet of the Blues, issued by Music on Vinyl, featuring 21 classic songs that inspired a whole generation. Of course, almost every blues musician, you know, latter-day blues musician has done a Willie Dixon song, known as a great writer, but also a great blues artist as well. All right. Number 9. Show your most exciting blues find of last year, maybe a grail or a white whale. I didn't have a grail or a white whale, but I did have this Buddy Guy. The blues is alive and well, and even in his latter days here, his old age, this is a great blues album, and he sounds fantastic on here. So I guess it's be kind of exciting and surprised. Great, this has some great photos on it too. Yeah, Buddy Guy, the blues is alive and well, was my exciting find this year, or last year, shall we say. Okay, show your most disappointing blues buy of 2022. Well, I didn't really have any disappointing ones, so I'm going to use disappointment in another way, in that I had already shown Volume 2 of the Blind Willie McTell releases on Third Man Records. There was 4 volumes, and the record store I went to, it's called Records by Merit. She just deals with all new releases. And she had these volumes on sale for $10, and I think there was even a percentage off that. And I was just upset I didn't go in earlier and get Volume 1 and 4, because I got this Volume 2, and I got the Volume 3 I showed earlier, and so my biggest disappointment is I didn't get 1 and 4. But great recordings, Blind Willie McTell. Let's get going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Show 3 blues 45 7-inch singles. Well, I'm going to bend the rules a little on this one. So I'm going to show 3 blues singles, but 2 of them are going to be on 78. I never get to show my 78s that much, so I'm going to show 1 45 and 2 78s, but they're all singles. So first one is on Swing Time, 78, and this is Lowell Fulson, Sinner's Prayer. Of course, Lowell Fulson was a West Coast blues artist. And the other one I'm going to show, this other 78, is Amos Milburn, Just One Drink. On the other side, Ain't Nothing Shakin'. Of course, Amos Milburn, some people may know as he had the original hit with One Bourbon, One Shot, One Beer that George Thorogood later did. And then the 45 I'm going to show is great blues harpist, Little Walter. This is a 45 on Checker. Everything Gonna Be All Right, and Backtrack on the other side. Great blues harpist, Little Walter. Prompt 12. show a blues artist from somewhere other than the USA or England. So I'm going to show Hans Theesink. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's a Dutch blues artist, although he was in the music scene, I guess, in Vienna, Austria. Who knew Vienna, Austria had a blues scene? But this is his album, Baby Wants to Boogie. And he wrote several of these songs on here, but he also does a Big Bill Broonzy, a Robert Johnson, and Mississippi John Hurt song. But yeah, this is a fantastic album on Flying Fish Records. Like I said, a Dutch blues artist. All right. 13. Feeling Lucky. Show a blues album that has to do with luck, good or bad. Show a four-leaf clover or broken mirror, etc. I'm just gonna do a song that mentions luck, and this is the blues piano player Roosevelt Sykes. This is the album The Country Blues Piano Ace, 1929 and 1933 on Yazoo, and he's got a song on here called Hard Luck Man Blues. So yeah, Roosevelt Sykes is gonna be my one. This is the Yazoo record label. Love it when they put out those old blues recordings, even if they are from scratchy 78s. That's still great to have them in the collection. All right, number 14. Show a blues album from an artist or band that's new to you. Aaron Mutha Alamer has been showing some albums recorded by George Mitchell of, old-time blues artists, kind of like a modern-day Alan Lomax, although I think most of these, you got them in the studio and they weren't field recordings, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a guy named Joe Calicut, which I was not familiar with, but really great acoustic blues. Album's called I Ain't Gonna Lie to You. But yeah, George, he's done a bunch of these albums, George Mitchell, where he recorded from the 60s to the 80s, I think, some of these older blues artists that were still around. And I can see the label. And distributed by Fat Possum Records. Okay. Show a blues collaboration album. So I'm going to show one with 3 different great guitarists. And it's an album called Showdown, and it's got Albert Collins, Robert Cray, and Johnny Copeland. 3 amazing guitarists. And this is a fantastic album. I really love Black Cat Bone on here and Lion's Den. They're all great. 3 great blues artists. And I would recommend this to anyone. It was on the Alligator label. Okay. Show a blues, oh, I just did that one. Oops. Show a blues-related book or magazine. Well, I had trouble. I know I got a magazine with a blues artist on it somewhere, so I'm gonna get close to that. This is a great book, Chicago Soul, and it deals mostly with Chicago R&B and soul and doo-wop, but there is a chapter on Chess Records and OK Records, and where it talks about people like Howlin' Wolf. So I would recommend this book. Chicago Soul does have a little bit about blues in there. All right, so the next one here. Show Winter. Show a blues album with snow, ice, cold, etc. on the cover or in the title, name. Well, Chris showed Ice Pickin', which was by Albert Collins, which is the first one I thought of, so I had to go with something else. So I'm going to go with Bobby Blue Bland. This is his album Dreamer, and he does have a song on here, Cold Day in Hell. So that would be my cold winter song for that one. All right. And okay. Lost my place here. All right, 18. Round and Round. The blues album you played the most in 2022. That would probably be I love Bobby Blue Bland's Two Steps from the Blues, but I show that quite a bit. So I'm going to go with this one. Hoodoo Man Blues, Junior Wells, Chicago Blues Band. This is just a fantastic and an essential album for anybody that loves the blues. It was on the Delmark label. But yeah, this is just a great blues album. You know, Junior Wells, great blues harpist. And, all right. Looky here, a blues album you would recommend. So I'm going with this album by Little Ed and the Blues Imperials. This is an album called Roughhousin'. I think this was their debut, even though they've been around for a while. And it's on the Alligator label. If I'm not mistaken, this was like recorded live in the studio, but it just got a great live sound. It's got one of my favorite songs on there, and it's called Everything I Do Brings Me Closer to the Blues. But yeah, Little Ed and the Blues Imperials. Roughhousin' was the album I would recommend. And the final question is shout out a channel in the vinyl community. And I'm going to shout out Berwickshire Mike out of Scotland. I think he's out of Scotland. I think that's where Berwickshire is. And he mentioned going to Perth 2 record stores, which I don't think it was Perth, Australia. I think it was Perth in Scotland. But anyway, I saw one video where anybody that can show a Frankie Lane, a Fratelli's, and the Beautiful South all in one video has got to be okay with me. So anyway, I'll put a link down to his channel below, and also to Chris and his vinyl tag. And hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone, you know, that has a good, nice blues collection will participate. And take care, everyone.